And testing. It's a little floppy. Let me put it here. Testing. Okay, so welcome everyone to this week's live. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do a couple updates. We're going to do a reveal of a custom order I just got, and then we're going to do a discussion of the next alternate history blade. Sorry. All done to a latte that my wife made me. So, a couple of updates. The giveaway hatchet axe is now ready for shipping. The only thing I had to do was finish a cover for it because nobody wants to just stick this in your backpack or whatever without some sort of a cover. So I went ahead and finished it up yesterday. All I gotta do is a little bit of polishing, and I wanna hammer the threads down a little bit just so it looks good. Hey, welcome back. Man, I got like a core few who are always coming back. So thank you for that. So I like how it is custom matched and fitted specifically for the axe. So now, oh, look at that. That guy's not coming off because I have it fitted around nice and tight, but it still comes right out, which is really good. Throw it in your pack, whatever you're doing, you know, if you're backpacking, if you're hiking, camping, whatever. And it looks good. I like it. Just dark aesthetic to match the, blade itself, the axe itself. So there we go. I missed it already, but we've got to do it. I've also got a one more update on the other giveaway, the 10K. It's officially gone. If you've seen it, you know it. Now, one of the things that I use for designing my blades is Procreate. I don't know why it's called Procreate. Maybe it's Procreate, but it's a drawing app. Not the best name, in my opinion. But the thing itself is amazing. I love it. So, alternate history will be next. First, let's discuss a new custom order I just got. It is a raven-themed spear. Oh, a couple of comments. Hello, Ryoheka. Yes. I haven't forgotten. Just been crazy busy with little ones. Looks good. Other axe covers come with 2 or 3 buttons hold together. I love the slip-on design. Yes, I thought about doing a button, but I wanted to try molding the leather specifically to the more unique shape. This is not. No, this music ain't setting the ain't setting the moods. Echo. Shuffle songs by Jeremy Soule. There we go. Real ones know. Jeremy Soule, Skyrim soundtrack. Okay. Blackbeards, welcome. So, let's get to the point. This latest design for a custom forged spear, this whole bit will be forged out of one big piece. Excuse me. Right before I hit go, I got coffee down the wrong tube. All the way up to the collar will be all one piece. He said he wanted it rough finished, and that doesn't mean ugly, because sometimes you get some smiths who will say, I like things brute to forge, which is fine, but I don't accept ugly. What I want is quality, but I love having that forge finish. So we'll do a clean forge finish, if that makes any sense. And the spearhead, to me, represents, gotta watch that microphone, the raven's beak. And then you've got a little line work raven here, very simple. And then the collar, just a little bit of detail. All of this will be a little rough, but not ugly. An ash handle with a little flare. Ash handle with the yakisugi, I believe it's called, finish, which is Japanese. But the reason why I like it so much is because it gives it an amazing texture and an amazing look. It's not a stain, it's actually a burn. So you burn the handle, oil it, buff it, high polish sand it, and it gives it texture and it gives it grit, but still looks really, really good. And then the pommel will likewise represent the raven's tail. A stonewash would look really good, honestly. I don't have a setup, but it's not that difficult to do. I just need a bucket and some sand. See, this is why I like lives, because I got people who have such good ideas. Yes. And then, or what else I could do, no, because that would kind of defeat the purpose. The black highlights the raven look. You know what I mean? And I want to keep that. I was going to say I could do a wire wheel brush, which would make it a little more silver, which is a cool look. But I kind of want to stick with that black. So I'd have to forge it mostly to shape and then sharpen the edge. And then when you sharpen the edge, well, then that would be a nice polish, which would just look really cool. So there we go. That is the design for the latest Raven-themed spear. So before we move on, any suggestions, any comments, anything you want to say? Comment time. Nightingale style from Skyrim. Oh, my man. I made the Nightingale blade. Does anyone know the Nightingale blade build I did years ago? It was a raindrop Damascus. It was the Nightingale blade, and it was some of my early work, but even then, I adored that thing. Does anyone remember that? Whew, see, I might have to redesign it a little bit, because that is a very good build. I wanted to do a little bit of leather on the handle because it looks good, but the problem with that is that it's not actually what I would consider very functional, you know? It's gonna get in the way of spear use. Because, for instance, with a spear, you've got movement, you know what I mean? So if you had the leather, I feel like it might bind, in my opinion. But anyway, that's the next custom order I have. Plus I have 5 kopeshes on order. And I got one of them done, one of them forged out. I got a lot of work to do on those guys. Next, the alternate history. The reason why I love the alternate history series so much is because it is pure imagination. So my latest one, the Kopesh, the Nordic, not my latest, my first. My Nordic Kopesh one did extremely well for my channel. I have over 80,000 views, which is not very much for big guys, but I'm not a big guy on YouTube. So that was a big, big milestone for me. And it pushed me into monetization. So that makes me extremely happy. So then I thought, well, let's pursue this a little bit because it's very fun. My kukri video, this one, is doing very well, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I got a lot of good response. I've gotten a few people who are against it or have some somewhat strong criticisms. Was in the middle of the video. Oh, okay, welcome. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. But that's the point. I had someone say, well, that's not anything like a kukri. First of all, yeah, it is. Second of all, that was kind of the point, is that it's not a kukri and it's not a sax. And then I've had others say, well, so you mean a sax? Like, well, no. Did you watch the video? Because that's not the point of this. The point of the video was to reimagine it for fun. But anyways, this one's doing very well. The issue that I saw with my kukri video was I've got plenty of really good response to the narrative aspects, but the retention rate's pretty low. Now, I'm not going to get too much into YouTube and how to make good videos and all that because I'm still learning. But my next idea for the next alternate history build is to mix it all together. Instead of, I had almost 15 minutes of narrative and then I got to the forging. So it's stretched out that video longer, but not in a quality content kind of way. Quick comments. I would prefer an actual kukri, but I understand the concept and recurve knives are still functional designs. William, yes, welcome back. If that is indeed your first name. I've made a lot of kukris as well, and they are among my favorite blades. Just always have been, probably will be for a long time. I do really love me a good kukri, honestly. In fact, Tyler Corte has one of my favorite kukris I've ever made. This was a Damascus build. But anyway, it's cool time to Lebanese fighter dagger. That would be very cool, yes. So what I want to do with the next one is, like I was saying, kind of blend it together. So that's all one cohesive build. So this is me announcing my next alternate history blade. I got all my designs here. All my beautiful little babies. Oh, so let's do that for fun, okay? Perhaps you remember Stormlord. This is the design for that. It turned out very well. I have a number of layers. Perhaps you remember then, yes, Narna Lindy. Remember this one? This one did very well. I really enjoyed that one, based on Gandalf's blade, but then taken and adapted. All of them have little squiggles now because my son gets to my iPad. This is a blade that I personally really want to do, but I can't just make it because I got a lot of orders and this would take a lot of time to do so. My idea was to actually get a piece of meteorite for that inset stone in the middle. So if anybody wants to order that, let me know. This would be an heirloom piece for a very long time. Okay, and my next design, this one I sold, that one I sold. I'm working on that one. Tank Tolman is ordering something along the lines of double axes. Traditional build. That'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm getting distracted because I like looking at artwork. The next alternate history build is going to be, design is not final, still tweaking it. What if the katana were born in the north? Now my idea is a Jormungandr version of the katana. The world serpent as realized in a katana. Now, why would I choose this? I know there's a lot of people who love the katana. I know there's a lot of people who hate the katana. My opinion is I have always loved the katana. I think it's elegant. I think it's great. I think it looks amazing. I've had a number of them. I've made a number of them. They're a lot of fun to use. And I gotta be honest, I'm all for the stylized, dramatic samurai films. You know, you got the and then I love stuff like that. Is it historically accurate, the dramatized stuff? Well, no, but I'm not looking for that, you know. A lot of people will say cavalry sabers will be way more this and way more that. Thank you. Everyone has all these ideas about the katanas, and there's people who defend it and say it's the best sword in history. Wrong. There's people who say it was trash. Wrong. Oh, well, it was made out of pig iron from the lake. Okay, there's a lot to it, but the way that they did it with the technology they had on hand and the end result was incredible to me. I love it from a craftsman's perspective. I got to stop hitting that mic. So, my opinion is maybe I'll straighten the handle. I don't know. to be more traditional. But the idea is, what if a smith had not just borrowed the idea, but what if he put his spin on it? What if it was actually originated from Scandinavia back in olden times? Quick break. It's not just a smith sees a katana, a Norse smith sees a katana, and so then he adapts it. It is, what if it literally originated in Norway, or anywhere in Scandinavia for fun? So what I would do is I would have, yes, a round guard like a traditional katana, except it would be made out of bronze, maybe Nordic gold, which I could make myself. And it would have, just motifs kind of engraved into it of Jormander. And then it would have a more subtle habaki, because the thing with Japanese craftsmanship, even in their woodworking and everything, it's very, very well tuned. It's extremely precise. And you don't see that quite as much in Norse architecture, Norse whatever. Not any hate on Norse craftsmanship at all. It's just a different style. The Japanese are known, at least to me, are known for being highly precise. So I would break down a little bit of that and make it lean more towards not a rugged, like an ugly, but a rugged, robust Nordic style. Instead of silk, which was huge in Asia, what I would do is a fine leather wrap. Yes. And then more Nordic gold, Ryu Heka, yeah. And then this, I think even an aged Nordic gold. You do your fittings, and then you hit it with a brass darkening solution, and then you kind of give it a little bit of a buff, even a wire wheel buff. Elliot, I knew you'd be here. Elliot Barrett Knives fan. I knew you'd be here. I just didn't know when. Yes. And then I want this to be traditional build. So I want it pinned. I want it pinned. I mean, not pinned. Pinned would be all the way through, pinned over. But this pinned, so you could take it apart. So it harkens back to the Tamahagani style and chiseled out pocket style of the katana. So, question. When you look at this, also I was thinking kind of a broader katana blade, less slender, What about using fish leather for the wrap? That's a good idea, but how would I've never used fish leather. Where would I get fish leather? I'll have to research that. Let me write that down. Pen! Probably shouldn't yell when I have my microphone on. Okay. Writing it down. Fish leather. This was the kind of leather I was thinking. Nice and thin. Nice and a little bit stretchy, so you can, the traditional fold. You do that, and then you do that. And it gives you that little bit of retention there. Kind of what I was thinking, but ornamentation and all of that, I would say would be a medium ornamentation. Why? Because if you look at some of the Ulfberts, they were highly ornate, and I love that. But I got to be realistic. I don't have all the time in the world. I got orders, and this would be like a 6-month project if I went way over the top. So, construction of the blade. Now, with this kukri, if you saw the video, you'll remember I chiseled open a piece of mild steel and I inset the high carbon steel, and then I forged it out into a blade. That worked very well, and it harkened to the designs of the smiths, the Norse smiths, who would do that for their axes, and they would do it for their saxes, and they would do it for they would do a different version for their, Viking blades, swords, their Norse weapons. Anyways, I'm getting lost in the details right now. So for the katana, what they did in Japan is they would get a big old chunk of bloom steel, and then they'd break it apart, and then they would have tamahagani, which they would then stack on top of each other, all these little pieces. They'd wrap it in a clay. They'd wrap it soaked in clay, essentially serving as a flux to prevent oxygen from getting in between the layers. And then they would forge that out. And then you have your katana. That's highly oversimplified. But anyway, secondly, well, anyways, we'll get to that later. For now, I think, how should we design this one? How should we construct this one? Sorry, got lost a little bit there. Should we do essentially a sanmai like the kukri? Should we do an inset? That would be a sanmai. If we did pattern welded steel, I'm afraid that it would just look like a modern blade. I don't have the ability to do bloom steel. I don't have the ability to do woots. I just don't, honestly. I'm a dad of 2. I'm a husband. I'm a very active part of my family, so I won't, spend all the time that I have building a historical set just yet. I'd have to be making some money, some more money in order to put aside that time. Okay, unfortunately, my lunch break is over. I have to go. Thank you for coming. See you next time. Leave in a comment later how you think we should construct it, but thank you for coming. Yes, katanas are cool yet hard to master. Thoroughly agree with that, Elliot. I can't decide on the construction. I'm probably going to wrap up soon, so what I'd like to ask from you guys is, could you please tell me what you think, whether you're watching this live or watching it later, could you please tell me what you think on how we should construct the blade? I am not going to build a smelter, not at this point in my life. My children are too young, and I can't dedicate that much time. Family comes first, man. My kids, my wife, they come first, as opposed to starting an entire new thing. A Damascus twist, that would kind of lend itself to the Jormungandr theme. If I did a low layer twist, would look kind of snaky. Sanmai iron body with a hard steel inset. Sanmai, let me think. See what I mean? Like, this gets me thinking. There's so many different things. I'll have to take a little bit to think about it. Yes, please, take a little bit. I want it to be pretty close to historical, but I can only do so much with the time I have in each day. I got to pay bills. I got to take care of my kids. I got to be there for my kids. They're growing up. My kid's 3. My boy's 3, and he's already riding a bike now. So I have to make time for that, which means if we're going to do anything on YouTube, it's got to be a little bit more simplified. Maybe later, when he's old enough to help me, if he wants to, then, which I think he will, because that kid, he's amazing. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the weeds now. Let me know what you guys think about this. I need a name. I need different ideas for ornamentation, and I need a construction method. None of that falls on you. But if you'd like to share your opinion on it, let me know, and who knows how it'll go. Thank you, everybody. This is going to be a long, boring goodbye. What are the options that are available to you? Okay, options available to me. William, the other William, hello. How many Williams we got? What are the other options available to me? I can do any Damascus. I can do sanmai. I can do anything that can be done hot, like on the forge, hammer and anvil, I can do. So, with that last one, I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. Binuriel. On that one, I actually wrapped it around, which is a traditional way for a certain type of blade. Hrunting, I think it was. Very cool blade. How many Williams do I have? I got 3. Ryu Heka, your first name is William? My middle name is William. This is a concave of Williams here. It's good. It's a strong, regal name. Okay, ancient Smith did have a type of sanmai, so think of an iron body. Your son's name is William, what the heck? Sanmai body and twist folded steel of the edge. That would look very cool. That would look very cool. And it would look a little more snakish. That's not a technical terminology. You know what I mean? Like, there are some options. There are a lot of different options. One day I will build a smelter, by the way. I have Skyrim music playing in the background. It is battle music right now. This sounds like bandits have attacked. Echo, skip. Anybody know the Skyrim soundtrack? Okay, perfect. Anyways, I want to stop blathering. I don't want to waste you guys' time. I don't want to stretch this out needlessly. Thank you. Comment what you think. I'm going to figure out how to turn this off. I think I pushed this button.